Well, good evening. Welcome to When Wisdom Talks. I'm Alisha.
And I'm Kadesha.
And I'm Naomi. And welcome to When Wisdom Talks. Another episode, another month. Oh my gosh. And listen, all three of us were talking about how busy and productive our day is. So you know we love you. We can do all what we do every day and every Thursday and still make it here to spend time with all of you. We are your hosts, and we're happy to be here tonight. When Wisdom Talks. Okay, so this episode and all episodes are brought to you by Wisdom on the Wall and Be Inspired Global. And of course, you know I have to give you our mission every week to empower women and men to live better and wiser through engaging discussions, fun activities, and inspiring special guest interviews. And this show is going to be so much fun. So I'm going to kick it off to Kadesha so she can tell you all about it. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too, probably because I'm not in the hot seat. But remember, I don't know. Well, first of all, type it in the chat if you remember what our theme is for the month of August. We are flowing and growing, okay? And so we're excited about that. But remember, we like to highlight a national theme as well throughout our shows. And so this day we are highlighting National Matchmaker Day. Yes. So for those who want to be made a match, for those of you who are single and desire to be married, this show is for you because tonight's episode is called Are You Ready for Love? And can I just tell you, okay, on the other side of marriage, 11 years in, there are so many things that we think we're ready for and we're not, but we thank God for grace, honey, and we thank God that He's with us as we flow and grow. So I'm excited about we do have some special guests. Now, the three of us are special, but we do have some special guests for you tonight as well. And I'm looking forward to those beautiful ladies being in the hot seat. For the single men, yes, if you have a good resume, then you can submit your resume at info@wisdomontheball.com. No, seriously. If you want to connect with us, we do love hearing from you. If you need any prayer requests, if you want to encourage us, hey girl, keep doing what you're doing. You can email us at info@wisdomonthewall.com. If you need to just learn more about us or donate or purchase our products, you can do that at wisdomonthewall.com. But we always like to ask you or remind you to share, right? We want to go ahead and share the gospel one, but we also want to just share positivity, share something that is good. So it takes you about 2.5 seconds to go ahead and share the show. Hit the share button if you would. Remember to follow us on Instagram. Remember to tell your friends who are on Facebook or Instagram that we're also on YouTube so they can subscribe to our page as well. We also want to remind you that 3 times a week, can somebody say 3? Because the sister be tired, okay? By Friday, I'll be ready for a nap because the 3 of us are encouraging and empowering you 3 times a week. Monday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our powerful pop-up prayer call. I'm telling you, if you just had a rough weekend, a rough Monday, because I know Mondays can be a little bit rough, especially if you're working for somebody else and not working for yourself. It can be rough. And so we just pop up, pop on, pop in, and pop off Monday night, 6:30 p.m. We also, Wednesday mornings, we have an empowerment prayer call where we are serving you Bible for breakfast. And so we're teaching, we're empowering, we're praying. We open up the lines. We have a good time on Wednesday mornings at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got to say that because I know we have people all over, but it is Eastern Standard Time. And of course, every Thursday, like Naomi said, come rain, come sunshine, thunderstorms, and everything in between, we're here at 8 p.m. Okay. Let's see. I think I mentioned everything. Just remember to also just comment in the chat. We love reviewing your comments and answering your questions. So enjoy the show. If you have some popcorn or you about to eat your chicken dinner, whatever you about to do, you're going to have a good time tonight. So go ahead and enjoy the show. Get you a notepad, get some notes, take some notes, especially for those of you who are single. So I'm going to pass it all over to my girl, Miss Alisha.
Well, thank you very much. Wonderful. Well, this is our Girl What's Your Story with a Twist segment. And this is the time when we get to share a little bit about what we've done over this past week, something that we enjoyed, something that made us smile, made us put a little more pep in our step. You know, it could have been a new dance routine, a movie, a television show, whatever it was, we're going to share that with you. But the twist is that it goes back to you and we want you to share as well. We don't want it to be one way. We want it to be dual. So please share tonight in the chat what it is that you've done as well. So I'll go ahead and kick us off. And over this past weekend, I had a chance to watch a movie on BET, and it was called Across the Bear. And it starred Kim Fields. Many people remember Kim Fields from Facts of Life. She was a little Tootie. And I so enjoyed this movie. For those of you who were with us last week, you know we were talking about a lot of the things that have been heightened and has been affected from the whole pandemic going on. So we talked about anxiety, we talked about depression and insomnia, and a couple other things amongst many other that have been impacted by COVID is homelessness and alcoholism, especially alcoholism amongst women. And this movie did such a great job dealing with homelessness and alcoholism with this one woman. And I wasn't familiar with her, so I unfortunately can't tell you what her name is. But the movie kind of like followed her because she ended up homeless. She was an alcoholic, and also she had a child while in the streets. So it was just so impactful. It was a tragedy that took place in her life. And Kim Fields plays a former nurse who actually opens up a home that caters to women who are homeless and are dealing with different types of addictions. And she played that role so well. It's like the home was a sanctuary for those who, you know, fit that criteria. And the thing that I also liked was that the foundation of her home was based on Romans 8:28, which we know says, and we know all things work together for the good of those who are called, who love God and are called according to, Lord, help me. I'm like trying to get this.
You gonna get it.
Look, I'm telling you, that shows you how much I enjoyed this show. I mean, I'm just reflecting back to the different things that came about and how the women were transformed. But I'm going to take two with the scripture, Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God and to those who are called according to his purpose. That's what it's supposed to say, okay? But anyway, it was a sobering movie, no pun intended, but it had a great twist at the end that really kind of tugged at your heart. So if you haven't had a chance to watch this movie, you know, do it on demand. Make sure you watch it. It was really, really worthwhile. So that was my Girl What's Your Story, and I'm going to turn it over to one of you to share what you did over this past week.
Well, I guess I'll highlight two things. Since last week, we talked about rest. And actually, it came last week. I just couldn't announce it last week because I didn't tell hubby. So we got a new mattress. And he was fussing because, it was an investment. But can I tell you, he's sleeping like a baby? Okay, can barely get out of the bed. Love it. Sometimes they just don't know what they need. So we've been enjoying our new mattress. It is very plush. I'm not there where I need a firm bed yet. Like, and the last mattress was so uncomfortable because it was so firm. So anyway, enjoying that. And then one other thing I want to mention, I almost took a picture and texted you earlier, Alisha, because Alisha does not share the same sentiment. But okay, am I the only one who loves Waffle House? Like, I don't get it. I don't know. It's for me. Going to school in Atlanta, that was one of the places in which was open late. Okay, so when you're in college, you're normally out late, and so that's one of the places you can get a bite to eat. One. Secondly, I love breakfast, and I'm very particular about my cheese eggs. I cannot eat anybody's cheese eggs but Waffle House. So there's this new, well, it's not new, but it's new to me because I haven't been to this Waffle House in, I think it's Falston, Maryland. It's about 10 minutes from me. And so I was on my way home from an appointment. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to sit here, have breakfast, and just have a good time. And no one was in there. So, it was so fresh. Like, she made my waffle fresh, and Haley was awesome. She was the server. And so I'm really excited about my new Waffle House that I found that I enjoyed. It was clean, Alisha. And so one of the things she had mentioned was, I guess her family had went to Cracker Barrel and they didn't like Cracker Barrel, or they enjoyed Cracker Barrel. But for her, one thing that she said that I had to just share was like, I like my Waffle House because we actually crack the eggs. Like, I know that the eggs are real. So I was like, you know what? You make a good point, because I feel like Waffle House gets a bad rep, but they do cook with real food and it's really tasty. So that was my something new. I had some Waffle House. I haven't had it in forever. And I enjoyed my cheese eggs with my pickle and my hash brown.
Let me just say, it's not that I don't like Waffle House. I've never been one, but
Okay.
I saw an article, and I want to mess up anybody's view of it, but there was an article about one particular one that didn't seem very clean. So it has totally crushed my desire to go there. Not to say I will never do it. So
I was like, I should take a picture of this and send it to Alisha. But no, it was tasty. That's my something new.
Listen, I love Waffle House. Okay, so Kadesha, me and you have that in common. I fell in love with their grits bowl. It's like grits with eggs, and you can get sausage in it and cheese. And oh my gosh, I have tried to recreate that at home so many times, but it ain't gonna be right. It is not gonna be right because it has to come from Waffle House and that chef behind that counter cooking stuff on the grill. It just has to. So,
and it's so cheap. So
it is very inexpensive. You can feed your whole family there. You just have to pick and choose which one you go to. Obviously,
absolutely,
it's one of those economical places to go. So, but with that being said, as you can see, I am joining you from my car, and that's for good reason. First, I want to give a shout out to all the moms out there who have a juggling schedule, where you have to do this and you have to do that, where you have to be here and you have to be here. We make it work. So shout out to all the moms. And so that is what I want to share with you. That's my story. I am a sports mom, a football mom. My son is in football. He plays tackle. And so right now he's in practice. He's in conditioning Monday through Thursday until his first game. And so a mama's got to do what a mama's got to do. Thank God for technology. Can I get an amen from the church?
Amen.
Thank God for hotspot, laptop, cell phone, tablet, whatever it takes. We get it done. And so I am in my car, happily in my car, because I would not miss this for any reason. If I have to make those adjustments, I will, because I look forward to Thursdays. But I love being a sports mom. And the one last thing I wanted to add is, I just am so thankful for all of the support that I've been getting. Me and my husband really have been getting from family, friends, neighbors who want to come to the game. My next door neighbor, when she saw my son in his uniform or his practice gear, she was like, "Oh, you have to tell me when the games are. I miss being a sports mom." And she was like so excited. So I just want to give a shout out to all of my family, my friends, my neighbors who have been just so supportive of me being a sports mom. And my husband, he's the breadwinner who actually is here. He came all the way from home from operating a show to be here. I see him walking over now. I'm waving at him. Look, there he is. We do what we gotta do to make it work. I didn't even know he was gonna come. I just told him, listen, I'm doing the show from my car. I gotta do what I gotta do, and that's just it. So that is my story. I'm sticking with it for at least the next couple of weeks until we can get someone else to come and be here on Thursdays with him. Amen.
I
Oh,
love it. I
you know
love
what,
it.
Naomi, honey, you do your thing, okay? You go beyond, bend over backwards for your family, for wisdom on the wall, for your clients. So kudos and hat off to you, my dear.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so much.
Talk about live TV. I'll be
And
walking
in
past.
color, and in color, my husband going that way. The parents at the football practice, they gathering and getting it. It is
I
what it
love
is.
it. We got to make it do what it do. Woo woo.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for sharing, ladies. And if anybody participate in the chat, we thank you so much. We're going to move into our next segment. So I'm going to turn it all over to you. over to you, Kadesha.
I'll take it. Okay. I'll take it. As we mentioned, we're really excited about this episode. You know what? Ain't no telling what's going to happen tonight. Okay. So just go ahead and put your seatbelt on. Literally, no pun intended, Naomi. Okay. Go ahead and put your seatbelt on and and have a good time, because the reality is I do believe that God has made us as individuals who crave companionship, right? And it's okay to want to be in a relationship. And so we just want to talk about some healthy ways to date and healthy ways to prepare for love. If you believe that God has set you aside for marriage, or for the next step in love, then we just want to give you some wisdom on it. And so I just wanted to talk about the word. I was talking to I was talking to the girls earlier before the show, but I was talking to Renisha earlier, good sister friend, and she's a part of the Wisdom on the Wall family. And I'm telling you, that word trust is just ringing all day. I was listening to Keisha Cole's song, and I've always been a fan of Keish. So listening to her song Trust, and my mind was just going. But the key about trusting is, and so I just want to share a few thoughts before I give it over to Alisha. Trust in a few different components, right? So one, we have to trust God, right? And Naomi eloquently shared that with us on Wednesday. One of the favorite and most probably popular scriptures is Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, right? And so as you are preparing yourself for love and getting ready for love, you have to trust that God is going to lead you, right? So he's going to lead you to who you need to meet. And so one of the things I always advise singles, if you trying to meet, get out the house, okay? Unless you plan on marrying the mailman, go ahead and come on, let God lead your feet, okay, to wherever you need to go. He's going to just trust him to lead you. You don't have to take the driver's seat, though, right? Because it does say that a husband will find you, and one who finds a wife finds favor. So you just got to be found, okay? And again, if it ain't UPS or if it ain't DoorDash or Amazon, I need you to go ahead and let the Lord lead your feet, okay? Guide your steps. So we're going to trust God in that, but we're also going to trust the process, right? It is a process. And getting ready, I was listening to Tabitha. Y'all know I love Tab. And she was just saying how, at this point in her life, she's living her dreams, but it was years ago that she was praying for what she had now. And so sometimes we pray for things that we're really not ready for, right? But God knows when we're ready. So he knows when you're ready for love. He knows when your husband or your significant other is ready to be found and ready to lead, right? So he knows these things. So we have to trust the process. And the last thing, and I think is honestly next to trusting God, is the most important. You have to trust the person that God brings your way. Okay, so strong Black independent women, we have issues with trust. Okay, that was me. And the Lord just had to remind me one day that if you trust me, trust that anybody I bring to you is trustworthy as well. And so it's about trusting the companion that God brings to you, because that trust factor is really, it's almost like a bridge from your heart to their heart. That's what's kind of leading you, keeping you guys together. And so trust is really the big word. And that's, if anything, I would definitely encourage you to just pray that God opens your heart so you're able to trust the companion that he's going to bring your way. So tonight we're talking about, are you ready for love? We have two powerful participants. We have Miss Jean Cotton, we have Miss Carolyn Greer, who are single, okay, single and ready to mingle, okay. So but we're just going to have a good time with them. Alicia's going to give us some dating tips first, and then Naomi's going to do a game with them and just ask them some questions. So as they're answering questions, you know, we want you to answer also in the chat. So without further ado, I'm ready to hear about these dating tips, because maybe me and Mike can go on some dates and we can figure this thing out, and we're going to be dating too. So go ahead and kick it off, Miss Alisha.
Wonderful. Well, I was tasked with the opportunity to talk a little bit about, how to prepare ourselves to make sure we're ready, and then how to know that we're ready for love. So when we're talking about, making ourselves ready for love and looking for love, I think the biggest thing is working on ourselves. That's the first thing you have to do, mind, body, soul, and spirit. The ultimate goal being that we have to bring our best self to the table. That's the whole goal. And when we talk about working on ourselves in preparation for finding the love, from an internal standpoint, it's all about taking the time to really get to know ourselves better personally. When you think about it, really know your likes and your strengths and all that good stuff. But when you think about that whole self-discovery process, it really helps us as a single person to accept who we already are as an individual, as a person. And it also gives us a chance really to kind of make the appropriate changes in our lives to make us a better version of ourselves as we're looking for the love. But the key part here is to really understand that a mate or a partner is not going to complete you. So if somebody is going into this whole situation with the mentality that, I want or I need to get into a relationship in order to feel complete and to feel whole, that's a problem right there, right then and there. You're not setting yourself up for success in this whole endeavor. So the ultimate goal when we're talking about preparing ourselves is to feel whole before we actually begin the process of looking for that love. So establish your own identity outside of any potential mate. That's the first given thing. But then when we talk about how to prepare ourselves outside of ourselves, so to speak, before we actually venture out for love, one of the first things we want to do is personally build strong individual friendships. And the whole point behind it is when you think about building, sustaining personal friendships, it's somewhat similar to building and sustaining a love relationship. So when you're learning and you're going through that whole process of building up your personal friendships, you're kind of taking yourself through the whole process of practicing the mechanics, for lack of a better word, of preparing for that love relationship. But more importantly, when you think about good friends, our good friends are there to help us learn things about ourselves that we typically overlook, don't even want to look at, don't want to think about. So our good friends are there really to kind of help us, again, grow into that better version of ourselves. And there's a scripture which I'm not going to mess up, but Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so a man or a woman sharpens the countenance of his or her friend. And that's really what good friendship is all about. And when we speak of friends and friendship, another thing we could do as we're preparing ourselves for love is to hang out with what I call couple friends. And what I mean by that is friends who are actually already married or in a relationship. And the whole key being is you want to be able to get a bird's eye view of what a live and in color relationship look like. Because I think so many times a lot of singles have the falsehood of thinking that, everybody's relationship is perfect, but you're just seeing the peripheral, you're seeing on the outside. But if you look and you hang around with them intentionally, you'll see they're just like everybody else. They probably argue, they get annoyed with each other, and there are points in times when they probably want to be separated from each other for at least an hour or two. So again, just understanding that if you're able to get that bird's eye view with your couple friends, you can see that relationship takes work. And also you can learn some pointers. There may be some things that they do as they're interacting with each other and maybe dealing with some challenges. You may say, you know what, I may want to incorporate that in my future relationship, or I don't want to do that. I don't like how that particular thing works. So again, hang out with couple friends. And lastly, in that piece of preparing ourselves is we should make a habit of helping other people. And what this does is it makes us make us selfless so that we're unselfish. Because again, when you're single, especially if you've been single for quite a bit of time, you kind of have life revolves around you. You want things the way you want it when you want it. But when you get into a relationship, that kind of, I don't want to say it goes out of the door, but you got to make room for that other person, kind of like what Kadesha was saying earlier. So again, you want to be able to volunteer during this time of singlehood, find a cause that you're interested in, get involved with that or organization, and give up your time and your talent, not worried about getting something in return. Because there's sometimes in your relationship that you're not always going to get something in return. And in my last minute or two, I just want to share some quick ways in which we can know we're actually ready for love. We've worked on ourselves, and those are just a few of the many things that we could do working on ourselves. But in the interest of time, looking at just a few ways to know that we're ready. The first thing is, that you understand the importance of good communication. If you know that good communication is important, you understand the fact that that is the backbone of any relationship. It can either make or break that relationship. So just understanding the fact that both people in a relationship need to feel heard and they want to be understood. The other thing is another litmus test to help you know whether or not you're ready for love is that you're ready to accept someone else as they are. So again, this is of the mindset where you're not trying to mold somebody. So you done met somebody and you're like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm going to mold them into what it is that I want them to be. But that can't be the case. You can't go into a relationship wanting to change the true nature of somebody. The whole goal when you're in that relationship, we should want to be able to actually help them be the better version of themselves, and the vice versa. They help us, but it's not the same thing as trying to change their nature. They are who they are, and you have to accept that and you grow from that. And lastly, a sign that you may be ready to love is that you're ready to blend your life with someone else's life. And I'm not saying that, your relationship has to be your entire life, but understand that when we're in a relationship, there is going to be blending. We're going to be connecting with their friends, their family, taking part maybe in their hobbies, all the other things that go along with that person. And you have to be willing to do that. And if you're not of the mindset to want to do that, then you may not be ready for love. So Kadesha kind of said this in the beginning. You'll know when the time is right, who the person is. You'll know it in your spirit, man, that it's time to, say bye-bye to singlehood and say hello to that relationship. So my only question at this point is, are you ready for love? So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Naomi to take us through our game show.
Everybody, and welcome to Are You Ready for Love? I am your host, Miss Be Inspired, and we are about to have so much fun. We have two amazing participants. We have participant number one, Jean Cotton. Everybody, studio audience, give it up for Jean Cotton. And participant number two, Carolyn Bria. Give it up for Carolyn. Okay, so tonight we have a fun game show planned for you where we're going to ask each one of our participants special questions about whether or not they are ready for love. And at the end, guess what? Both of them are winners. Okay, studio audience. So they're each going to win a special gift card for participating in tonight's game show.
Aww.
Are you ready for love? So there is light at the end of the tunnel, ladies. I'm just trying to tell you something to expect.
Amen.
So here are the rules. I want you to be open, honest, and have fun. That's it. Three simple rules: open, honest, and have fun. Because listen, you never know which single fellas are going to
Come
be
on.
watching.
What? Hold on.
So tell the truth on those questions, ladies,
That's
because you
true.
could walk away with more than a gift card. You might walk away with a date.
Well, praise God. Praise God.
We don't know,
Amen.
but we're hoping. And so again, thank you everyone for joining our game show tonight. Are you ready for love? I am your host, Miss Be Inspired, with both of our participants, Jean Cotton and Carolyn Greer. So how we're going to start the show is I'm going to ask them both to just give us all a little bit of background of who they are. I'm going to ask them too. Now, this is a question that wasn't on your list of questions, but I'm going to ask you to pick 3 words to describe yourself. 3 wonderful adjectives to describe yourself. So think about that. And while you're doing that, I want to introduce you to our beautiful studio audience, Kadesha and Alisha. They're our studio audience. And all of you for joining and tuning in are our studio audience, and we thank you. So, ladies, you have an audience. So put on your vests and have fun. So we're going to start with Carolyn tonight.
Okay.
Carolyn, in 60 seconds or less, just tell us a little bit about you.
Ah, I'm a woman of faith. Praise the Lord. I am a single mother. I love life. I love family. Um, I love having fun. I'm spontaneous at times, and I like it. I love the beach, and I just love having a good time. I don't know if that helps. Does it help?
It does. And I'm sure whoever's listening, all you single fellas out there, all the single fellas, I hope you heard. I hope you heard. And so now, Jean, I'm going to ask you in 60 seconds or less, describe to the audience who you are.
Hmm. I am indeed a woman of God. I love the Lord, and He is my everything, my center, my core. I believe that I have an infectious personality. I love people, and so I bring about good energy. I'm about that. That's not to say it's always the case, but I really do live that or exude that most of the time. And I would say that I'm very compassionate. I am a woman who loves giving and doing and helping. So I have a very compassionate heart and a compassionate spirit.
Give it up for Miss Jean Cotton. And if you're just tuning in, this is the Are You Ready for Love game show with your host, Miss Be Inspired, and our lovely participants, both Jean and Carolyn. And so I'm going to move over to Carolyn and ask you to give us 3 words, 3 wonderful adjectives to describe you. Only 3 now. That's the rule.
Okay, determined, uh, loving, and oh Lord, I don't want to sound cheesy. Uh, um,
Whatever's on your heart.
encouraging, encouraging.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Jean?
And you know what? I think I just heard it wrong because I thought that was the first question.
Me too.
Oh,
Me too.
3 words. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself because my 3 words was infection, compassion, and gracious giving. But so definitely all those things. But I will say that I am a single mom as well of a beautiful daughter that's serving in the military. I always give her a shout out because I thank God for her. And I'm a twin. I am come from a large family, a big family, and so I'm grateful for my siblings and my extended family. And I work in higher ed, so I love working with young people.
awesome. Again, studio audience, give it up for our contestants, our participants, rather. So we're getting ready to move into the next portion of our show tonight, of our Are You Ready for Love game show, where we're going to ask you some questions about your dating and what you might be looking for and some other things. So the first question I'm going to give to Jean.
Yes.
What is your biggest pet peeve
Mhm.
overall in general? What is your biggest pet peeve? And this is going to be important because whoever you might be dating, they're going to want to know this, right?
Mhm. Ah, a person who complains a lot. I
Mhm.
just, that's just a pet peeve of mine. I'm about a solution driven or coming up with, you know, making things happen or just having a positive outlook on life. So a person who just complains all the time, it's a pet peeve. I can, help. I try to help people out to see the positive aspect of things and to come up with solutions. But that's a pet peeve. And maybe in my older, as I've gotten older, I don't want to have the tolerance for it as much as I used to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, listen, all you single fellas out there, withdraw your application if you are a complainer. Okay, so go ahead and just go to the next
Yeah,
single
let's just
lady.
work it out, right? If you
Yes,
can work it
let
out, let's
me
work it out.
be the
Amen.
one for you.
Amen.
So, what about you, Carolyn? What is your biggest pet peeve?
Don't you bring me no bad news. I don't want to hear it, Miss Jean. I'm with you. No bad news. Mine is foul language. Ooh,
Oh,
and when it's directed at children, I can't stand it.
mhm.
Please don't use foul language around me. It just does something to my core. It hits hard. I don't like it. You.
Well, listen, all you fellas with the cursing demon
Yeah.
upon your life, withdraw your application for Miss
Please.
Carolyn because it's not gonna work. Okay, go get you some deliverance first, then apply. Okay, so now turning from our beautiful single ladies, Jean and Carolyn, and they are indeed ready to mingle. But make sure when you submit your application, you got your stuff together, fellas. Okay. So, Carolyn, I'm going to start with you, and I'm going to randomly pick either one of you. So, Carolyn, what is your idea of a romantic date?
I love nature. I love parks. Um, being just being in nature. I want to hike one day. I really do want to hike one day, take a cross country trip. But my view of a romantic date is just being in nature, nature trail, having a good conversation, and hearing the water streams in the background, and maybe a water brook, just hearing water flowing, and just hearing the animals give God praise, birds chirping. I just love nature, so I would love a romantic date on a nature trail. Yeah.
So, we have a nature lover here. Okay, so check that box off. All you single fellas who are nature lovers, check that box. And, Jean, what would be your ideal date?
An ideal romantic date for me would be uh, my guy or this guy just surprising me because I like surprises. Surprising me with something that he's planned out that he knows that I like. So pretty much after having conversation and dialogue and interaction, he take in consideration the things that I like, which is, or shall I say, are some of the things that Carolyn mentioned. I love nature, water, but I love music. I love a concert or, going out to a symphony or an orchestra. I mean, I love music, but I also love culture. So we can go to a cultural event and a festival or something like that. But I also love simple things, going to a movie or doing something physical by going golfing, putt golfing, or just a variety of things. We can go, to the park and, let's just do a walk. But it has to be something, I think, where he's thought of me based on our conversation.
Perfect. So we have one nature lover in Carolyn. And for Jean, surprise her. Be creative. Culture, park, whatever you can come up with, but just be creative and surprise her. I'm just loving it. You know what, fellas, if you're listening, these are the real prizes right here. Jean and Carolyn.
Oh,
Right?
thank
Give it
you.
up, studio audience. Give it up.
Thank you.
Give it up. So We're gonna move through these questions because we do have a few more, and I want to make sure we can get to all of them. So I'm gonna move a little bit faster. So Jean, what makes you unique?
Ooh, I did. I've been pondering about that question. What makes me unique? I love people. So I think the fact that I can interact with people on various levels, various, with kids, adults, from various backgrounds, and no matter what their status is in life, I can interact with those individuals. And I think that that's a very unique quality to have, because to be able to interchange and interact, in a community way where people can, you can really relate, or even if you can't relate, you can certainly empathize with them. That makes me unique, I think.
And you, Carolyn, what makes you unique?
Um, I love showing love and uplifting those who are, oh Lord, I don't want to sound all like everybody's down, but just lifting people up who may be down on themselves, like help pulling them out of that funk that they're in, and just encouraging them and letting them know that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you don't have to stay in either a dark place, or or a burdensome place, but there is life. With each new day we get brand new mercy. Let's walk in it, let's enjoy it, and enjoy life. So I think something unique about me is just being able to uplift and being that light that God has called us to be whenever we into a room where someone's atmosphere.
So I would say that both of you really do have that magnetic type of personality where people are drawn to you. So I believe whoever God has for you, they're going to come right to you because of that. You both have great hearts. So
Thank
fellas,
you.
okay,
Ah,
please know that they have a wonderful heart. Okay. And they will draw you in with that love of God that's inside of them. All right. So let's move on to the next question. I'm going to move to Jean again. Okay. What are some random fun facts about you?
oh, random fun facts. I mentioned that I'm a twin. I'm from Louisiana. So, although I live in Delaware, I'm originally born and raised in Louisiana. And I have shaken the hands of two presidents, and that is President Biden, Joe Biden, and President Barack Obama. So very
Whoa.
excited. That's exciting. I what else? I've done some traveling. I want to do a little bit more, but I've gone. What? I don't know. That's probably it.
I think that's enough. You took the hand of presidents, okay? You
I
can
have
stop
I've
there.
met
You
them
ain't have to
both,
add
yeah,
nothing else because not everybody in this world can
and
say
their wives, and their wives.
and their wives. Bonus. I think that makes you pretty unique.
Thank
What
you.
about you? What about you? What are some
Oh
fun facts
Lord.
about
I am so noisy. My mom used to call me the loud family. Whenever I went over to her house, I would always scream to my niece, "Hi, Dad," or whatever. But I love board games and games that you have to scream and get the answer out. I love it. Anything that makes any game that's like, "No, you didn't, you cheated. How could you do that?" Or make you think real quick on your feet. I love board games. I love to sing, and I love action movies. I love
Mhm.
action movies. One of my favorite, I guess I don't know what to call it, enterprises is Marvel, with Avengers and Iron Man, all of that. I love the shoot 'em up, bang bang movies and a karate chop. I love it. I love them all.
Oh yeah, action movies are
Action.
awesome. I'm telling you, a good movie has a little bit of all those elements: action, a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
romance, a little bit of
Suspense.
all of that. But we're hoping that you get some action in your daily life.
Yes, Jesus.
Rev up the action
Yes,
in the
Father.
Yeah.
daily life. We're gonna keep it fun. I'm gonna save two of the deeper questions for later on. But Carolyn, while you're at it, tell us what your favorite place, where your favorite place on earth is, or what your favorite place on earth is.
and this is, I hope this doesn't sound cheesy, but it's the truth. I love my children. Everybody knows me, knows that I love my children, wherever my children are, and we're at the beach, just relaxing. That's where I love to be. Anytime I can get away to the beach with me and my children, I do it. Just us. That's what I love. My
Yeah.
favorite thing.
Awesome. That's also a nice date to go on to the beach as well. Yep. Okay, Jean, favorite place on earth?
They're just that's a hard one for me because I absolutely love traveling. So, but I'm gonna say wherever I am that makes me happy and full of joy. So wherever that takes me, if I'm at the beach, if I'm on a mountaintop, if I'm on a cruise, if I'm, with family at a barbecue, or I'm with girlfriends going to, a show or something. I just love being places and having fun doing it. So that's simple, but that's my fullness and my joy in terms of my favorite place. Being home, I can be home relaxing, and it's my favorite place because right at that point, or at that time, I'm feeling good about that. So I have a lot of favorite places.
That's cool. So again, you won't be too hard to please on date time when you get surprised and all that good stuff. Well, that just shows that you're very open, which is good.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. Okay. Now moving on. All right. So what is something that you are proud of, Jean? What are you proud of?
There's several things, but I would say, first of all, I'm proud of my daughter. I'm she's an extension of me in a sense, and she's on her own.
Okay, so I think we having just a little bit of technical difficulty with Jean. So Carolyn, while she's getting back on, I'm going to pose that question to you. So what are you proud of? What are you proud
Lord.
of?
Go ahead, Miss Jean.
Am I back?
Yeah. You are back. If you would like to pick up, and then we'll let Carolyn.
It looked like you were asleep for a minute.
No, I'm very much awake. But I would say that, I'm certainly proud of my daughter. I'm proud of my daughter, and I'm grateful for her, and I'm grateful for the woman that she's becoming. And I certainly had a hand in that, so I'm grateful for that with the Lord. But I'm proud of myself for overcoming a number of things in my life. I've had to deal with a number of things being a single mom. And so giving myself grace, loving myself more, and appreciating everything, even the ups, the downs. So having a positive, a more greater positive outlook in terms of my future and what God has in store, even though I may not be able to see it. I'm proud of myself. So, yeah.
And we're gonna wrap up. We just do have two more questions that I want to ask, and we kind of, me and the two studio audience members, Kadesha and Alisha, we kind of was not sure if we should ask, but we want to. Who are the special people in your lives right now? And this could be whoever, your family, but who are the special people in your lives? Let's see. Carolyn, go ahead.
For me? Okay, cool. Well, again, I don't want to sound cheesy, but it's my children, my daughter and my son. And of course, family. There are two other people that I would like to mention. Three other people, actually. My best friend Pam, and my pastors, Bishop and Pastor Snorton. I'm telling you, when I prayed for them, I prayed and I asked God specifically for some things, and He gave me leaders who have what I asked for. So I thank and praise God for everyone that's in my circle, my family, you ladies, my children, and my pastors, and my best friend Pam.
That's awesome. And Jean, what about you? Who are the special people in
Uh,
your
I'm
life?
with I'm with Carolyn. I mean, I'm so grateful for my daughter. She's certainly one of my greatest blessings, and my family. I come from a big family. So I'm so grateful for them. They are always special in my heart, even though I live in Delaware and they live down, the southern states. I'm grateful to still have my, connections with my family and love them. I thank God for my extended family here because when I moved up here 20 some years, almost 30 years ago, I knew no one. And so for me to have certainly connected with some beautiful women, beautiful men as well, and mostly my friends are married with their husbands. And so, you kind of mentioned that earlier about surrounding yourselves. I think Alisha mentioned that around, with people, couples who are, their marriages are strong, and even if they're going through things, we thank God for bringing them through and being able to see the resilience in them. So I'm grateful for you beautiful ladies for always embracing me. Kadesha, yeah, she's one of my besties. Alicia, you on that, you on there, you and Naomi. I thank God for you beautiful women and for the ministry, being a part of this ministry, but also I have some wonderful women in the support and sisterhood. I have wonderful women who were with me and have been with me, my ride or die, when I was at MBNA, and they're sisters with me even to now. And they know who they are. And I'm just really grateful. My family at my church, at Bethel AME Church, I'm so grateful for, them. And my pastor, who's now Bishop Beeman, and Supervisor Renee Beeman. I'm grateful for them in terms of leadership. So yeah, I'm with you, Carolyn. I appreciate all the beautiful people in my life.
I'm going to move on to the last question. I'm going to tweak it a little bit. What is something that you want to learn? And I want to say learn in love and relationship, because as you're preparing yourself to mingle, because you are single and ready to mingle, what is it that you're ready to learn, that you want to learn? Let me see who can go. Carolyn, Jean, I'll give you a chance to think about it a little bit.
Okay.
You know what's funny? I was like, Lord, when you send my husband, am I gonna have to cook every night cheese and macaroni? Like, when my kids, I'll be like, I don't feel like cooking. We going out. But I want to learn, as far as relationships, learn how to accept the true love, the God-given love, the husband, the love that comes from a husband, that as Christ loved the church. And there's a reason why I say that, and I shared it with Kadesha. So I won't go into too much detail because I know we don't have that much time left. But I want to learn to accept that someone who loves me for me, and even all of the things that I think are wrong with me, he's just like, babe, I got you. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's do this then, sugar. Let's go. So to accept that, accept that real, honest, true love that only God can give. Show a husband how to love his wife. That's what I want to learn how to do.
And Jean, what about you?
I tell Carolyn, you know what? I think you're in my head tonight, but I definitely agree with that. And also just to learn to coexist and be, happy with each other in your space, whatever that space is. It's, because sometimes you, particularly when you're older and you meet new people, they're set in their ways, if you will. And so learn to set our ways together and to coexist together in the love in which God will have, as Carolyn mentioned, for me, that I will, be able to provide for him as well. And that perfect person for me, and that perfect person for that I would be for him. So yeah.
Well, ladies, Thank you so much. All of you out there, thank you for tuning in to our game show, Are You Ready for Love? With your host, Miss Be Inspired, our beautiful participant, Jean Cotton. Give it up for Jean Cotton. Woo! And give it up for participant number 2, Carolyn Greer. Now listen, what I want you to do, you've seen these beautiful ladies. If you have any interest, submit all applications to info@wisdomonthewall.com. If you were thinking, oh, Miss Jean, oh yeah, she got what I like. She likes a pride. I want you to submit your application and put Miss Jean Cotton at the top. And then if you're like, oh, a nature lover, oh my God, oh yeah, she the one. Carolyn Greer, please submit your application and put Carolyn Greer at the top. info@wisdomonthewall.com. And our beautiful studio audience, Alisha and Kadesha and myself, we will vet the applications. They got to come through us first.
Yeah.
We gotta pray over them. We gotta do all those things. We gotta anoint them and all that stuff. So anyway, submit all applications for each participant at info@wisdomonthewall.com. And ladies, as a thank you for participating in our show tonight, each of you will be getting a gift certificate. Be on the lookout. And again, thank you so much for joining us tonight, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
You are so welcome. We thought of 2 better people to have on our game show tonight. Thank you, studio audience.
Yes.
And we look forward to doing another episode of Are You Ready for Love?
Wow. That was hilarious. Okay. But as they were down there in the corner, I just kept thinking about Love Connection, like the show. And I feel like they would be awesome contestants on Love Connection. Oh my goodness. Or maybe, who knows, maybe you need your own little twist of Love Connection, Naomi. You did awesome.
Yes, that was good. That was good. You know, the thing that I really liked was that for those who are single in the audience, those are questions that they can actually take and ask of a potential date, you know, so it works out well for everybody. They had a chance to kind of, you know, get some exposure. But for those who are watching, you know, write those questions down and ask somebody who's, you know, trying to come into your world to answer those questions.
Yeah. And honestly, you know, as I mentioned before the segment, is that even when you're married, sometimes we get in the same routine of life because, like Naomi said, you're so busy. But that was just some good reminders. You know what, babe? Let's sneak away. Let's have a picnic on the beach, or let's go do a hike, you know? So, I mean, you can always, even if you're in a relationship, a committed relationship, even if you're not married, you can always, there's always room for refreshment, right? To refresh that thing and to make it even more, I don't know, just amazing. That was so good. So refreshing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And those 2 ladies, I mean, I know them, you know, we all know them personally, but it's like, when you see people who have hearts like they have, and like you called Naomi, the magnetic spirit, like love will find them. And it's just about trusting God throughout this process, you know, and it's not, I mean, because trust me, both of them have very full lives, so they ain't sitting around waiting. But it's like, it's going to be so beautiful. Every now and again, I'll just text Jean, like, I'm over here teary. I can't wait till you're wet. And she's like, girl, get off my line. Like, I just see it, you know, I can see those things. And so I'm just excited, and I'm looking forward to the day that I get to be a bridesmaid, hopefully somewhere on the beach. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was beautiful. But honey, we had three triple A. Okay, we had some A's that stood out tonight. The one A was accept rather, adapt, and then Naomi hit us with apply. Okay, so if you are ready to accept our two beautiful ladies and adapt to their ways, and honestly, I know them. They're open to adapting to your ways, men as well. Like they will be willing to compromise. Go ahead and submit your application. That was hilarious. That was so funny, Naomi. But I love it. But honestly, we got to look at it like that. Like, yes, you are applying to be in my life and the lives of my family and my friends. So, well, y'all, I hope you took some good notes. I hope you had a good chuckle because that was just a good laugh. But I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope you recognize the sacrifice that we went through. Y'all got my girl in the car with the light, holding the light. Naomi is making a true sacrifice. So I pray that you guys, was able to enjoy the show and get some tidbits. One thing I do want to mention, I always think about this advice that someone gave years ago to her twin daughters, and they were younger. And what she said was, she would pray for, or she encouraged her children, her daughters, to pray for their spouses, not for them to come, but to just pray that they would be the men that God called them to be. And so as any of you are in waiting, just pray for them, whoever they are. Pray that God will give them peace, give them purpose, give them good health, and that you guys will be compatible, and that you will be able, like Carolyn said, to receive and accept the love that they're going to give you. So we just going to pray and wait, and we're going to have a good report. I'm declaring and decreeing we're going to have a good report sometime here soon for our singles and waiting. So we hope that you enjoyed yourself. Remember, we are here next Thursday at 8:00. Same time, same look. Hopefully Naomi ain't gonna be in that same car, but even if she is, she gonna be here. But we're gonna be here next week. So we enjoy you guys, and we pray that you enjoyed it as well. So remember to stay safe, stay blessed, and stay in faith. Have a good night.
Good night.